was actually built in 1794. But the hardware store was out of 9, so I backdated it 10 years.
It's a beautiful house.
The Historical Society had kittens. Watch the beam. You can tell authentic colonial by the bruises on visitors' foreheads.
Hello.
This is Myra, my wife.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
I was beginning to worry.
The room you work in?
How'd you guess?
The typewriter and all these posters. Is that the mace that was used in Murderer's Child?
Yes, and this is the dagger that was used in the murder. Be careful, it's sharp. The trigger was substituted in the second act.
In for the kill.
Yes.
I can't understand why that plane didn't run longer.
Critics peeing on it could be the answer.
The train must have been late. Was it?
No, the train was on time. Mr. Bruehl was late.
I had to stop here to get gas, and Frank insisted on fondling the spark plugs.
Oh, do you know Gunpoint was the first play I ever saw? I had an aunt who lived in New York. So one Saturday, I took the train in by myself, another first, in from Hartford. She took me to the matinee. I was 12 years old.
If you wanted to impress me, you made it.
How? Oh, I'm sorry, but that's how I got hooked on thrillers.
DeathTrap, excuse me. Angel Street was mine. The fella, where's that grocery list? Hey, you wretched creature. I was 15.
Sounds like some kind of disease that's passed from generation to generation.
It is. It's called thrilleritis malignus, the fevered search for the one set 5-character moneymaker.
Oh, I'm not pursuing money. Not that I wouldn't like to have some so I could have a place like this to work in. That's not why I wrote DeathTrap.
You're still an early case.
It's not a disease. It's a tradition. A superbly challenging theatrical framework in which every variation seems to have been played. Can I conjure a few new ones? Can I startle an audience that's been on Angel Street, that's dialed in for murder, that's witnessed the prosecution, that's played the murder game?
Lovely, Steve, but thanks for leaving me for last.
I was coming to sleuth.
But I stopped you.
So am I. A little euphoric about all that's happening.
As well you should.
Would you like something to drink?
Yes, please. Do you have any ginger ale?
Yes. Sidney, scotch?
No, dear, I believe I'll have ginger ale too.
These aren't all from your plays, are they?
God, no, I haven't written that. People give me things now, and I prowl the antique shops.
Now there's a disease.
A super excuse for not working. I found this in Ridgeville last week, 18th century German.
It's beautiful.
And, as you can see, I keep my spiritual child under lock and key.
I've got the original.
Good.
It's not in a binder. It's been the Xeroxing.
Makes no never mind.
Well, I've got the first draft here, too. There's a scene between Richard and Diane that I may be wrong to cut. And then the Carlo and Diane scene starts earlier, before they know Richard is back.
Do you have any other drafts?
Just the one. Well, it's a bit of a mess, but I think you'll be able to decipher it if you'd like to see those two scenes.
Oh, I definitely would. I had a feeling it was a Diane and Carlo scene I wasn't seeing. Before the murder, right?
Yes, I was afraid Act 1 would run too long.
What else do you have there?
Oh, the outline, which I departed from considerably. I did it just as you suggested. 1 page per scene, loosely. Some lines I jotted down and never got to use.
And you threw away the ones you did use as you used them.
Yep.
Same way I work.
Everything was in the one folder, so I just grabbed it when I left. It's a 2-hour walk to the train station, so I had to leave right after we talked.
2 hours?
Oh, I walk longer than that. I'm one writer who's not going to get flabby. I work out with weights every morning. Do you know I was this close to making the Olympic decathlon team?
Really?
Well, this close.
I'm not going to mess with you. Me, I was on the Olympic slot team. Gold medal. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fall asleep in any position. DeathTrap.
DeathTrap.
DeathTrap. Someday this will be toasted with more than ginger ale, if Sidney's right about it.
so. I toasted it with beer the other night.
Oh, we have some, would you rather?
No, this is fine, thank you.
Dear, are you planning on staying in here?
Yes.
You think I overdid it with the set descriptions? All the exact locations for each piece of furniture?
Set descriptions? Oh, I don't remember any problem. No, these are fine. They're perfect. You type beautifully. Electric?
No, I can't see electric typewriters. If there's a power failure, you can't work.
That's one of the main reasons to have one. Now, my problem with electrics, at least Zenobia there, is that you can only make one good carbon. The second carbon comes out so muddy as to be illegible. Do you have that problem with?
Oh, Mr. Anderson, Sidney has wonderful ideas for your play.
I'm sure he does. I'm looking forward to hearing them.
Dear, can't you do that in the living room?
No, there's no good light in there.
I seem to recall a paisley chair with a work light so bright you could describe Bibles on pinheads.
But that light's too bright, and the chair's too low. I'll be quiet.
Dear, this is Clifford's first play, and I'm the first person to read it. I'm sure he wants our conversation to be private. Don't you, Clifford? Don't be embarrassed to speak up.
No, I don't mind Mrs. Bruehl being here. In fact, I kind of like it. It makes me feel a little less as if I've been called to the principal's office.
Well, I'm sorry if I awed you.
You do! The things you say in all these plays. I never thought to call my typewriter anything but Smith Corona.
As long as it answers.
Well, you're welcome to read the play too, Mrs. Bruehl, if you'd like.
Oh, I would.
I'm curious to see how women react to Diane's decision about the gun.
Oh, Sidney only told me a little about it at dinner, and he stopped before he got to the surprises. I don't even know who murders whom.
Well, good, you shouldn't. I think that was part of the trouble with Murderer's Child, if you'll forgive me for saying so. From the opening curtain, it was so obvious that Dr. Mannheim was going to bash poor Teddy. You didn't leave any room for doubt. I mean, the audience should have their suspicions, but they shouldn't be absolutely certain, should they? Doesn't it diminish the suspense?
You might have a point there. I just wish you'd let me know on the phone that you wanted Myra to read it too, that you could have brought another carbon and she could have been reading as we were having our talk.
I didn't know she'd be interested. Anyway, I haven't got one.
You haven't got another carbon?
I thought I'd be Xeroxing the original just as soon as I was through.
Yes. What do you need 2 or 3 carbons for in the age of Xerox?
Well, she could read that one, and we can pass the pages back and forth. Or I can sit next to you.
I need a moment. Let me think for a moment.
Oh, Mr. Anderson, Sidney has so many creative ideas for your play. I have never seen him so enthusiastic. He gets plays in the mail very often. A finished plays, ready for production, supposedly. From his agent and from producers and other aspiring playwrights. And usually he just laughs, sneers, and makes the most disparaging remarks you can imagine. I am sure he can improve your play tremendously. He can turn it into a hit that'll run for years and years, and make more than enough money for everyone involved.
Is this what you meant by I'll be quiet?
I won't be quiet. I'm going to say something that's been on my mind ever since your phone conversation. It's very wrong of you to expect Sidney to give you the results of years of work, of all of his knowledge with no quid pro quo, as though the seminar is still in session.
He offered to give
And
me...
it's very wrong of you to have offered. Now, I am the one in this household with my feet on the floor and my eye on the checkbook. Sidney, I've got to make a suggestion. It's going to come as a shock. And I want you to give it your grave and earnest consideration. Will you do that? Will you promise to do that for me?